What's up, budget monitor shoppers, and welcome to the Ari Visuals YouTube channel, where you'll always find high quality visuals and high quality tech. And today, I have a monitor for you that, to be honest, sounds a bit too good to be true. The E24FP1K from Jlink is supposedly packed with features like an IPS panel, a 165Hz refresh rate, 1 millisecond response time, FreeSync, and G-Sync, and the most amount of I/O I've ever seen on a monitor of this price, including 2 HDMI ports and 2 display ports. But for a monitor that costs only $120 with the coupon on Amazon, does it really perform? Well, today we're gonna find out, right after a word from our sponsor.
With VIP-URCDKEY, you can install and activate Windows for only 16 bucks.
Hey, that's pretty good.
It's fast, easy, and 100% legit. You can now enter my new promo code for 2023, RAV25, which will now save you 25% on your purchase. So get rid of that Windows activation watermark and get your system activated today. It also works for Windows 11 as well. Check the links in the description.
All right, let's start with unboxing this budget monitor from Jlink. So first of all, you get the box, which is just a plain cardboard look. And honestly, it's kind of what I expected for a monitor of this price. I will also note that the box was not heavy at all, and this monitor seems to be very, very light. But the plus side of that is that the monitor would be a very good candidate to mount on an arm because it would not weigh it down very, very much, so that's kind of nice. Inside the box, you get the product manual as always, and an included HDMI 2.0 cable, so if you're looking to get this monitor set up to an HDMI capable device right away, you're good to go, and you don't need to buy another cable at all. Next, you'll find the power adapter, which is actually pretty small, giving me the feeling that this panel does not require as much power delivery as some of the high-end monitors that I'm used to. Next, we have the stand, which is honestly just a small, curved piece of aluminum, I think. I mean, both pieces are made of metal, and all you have to do is put them together and tighten one screw with a screwdriver. Unfortunately, they don't have a toolless assembly process, which is very common in most monitors, but again, for this price, I'm happy to get out my screwdriver and just put it together for a second. All right, now that we have the monitor together, what connection options do you get? Well, in the back of the monitor, you get the DC power port, so you can plug the monitor and power supply in. Then you get 2 HDMI 2.0 ports and 2 DisplayPort 1.4 ports. And then you also get a 3.5mm audio jack because this monitor does not include speakers, which is totally fine with me because honestly, monitor speakers are usually garbage anyway. All right, now that you know what you get with the monitor and how to set it up, let's talk some tech specs. So with this $120 monitor, you're getting a standard 1920 by 1080 resolution with a max refresh rate of 165Hz for some very smooth, fast twitch gameplay. Jlink also boasts a 1 millisecond response time on the panel, but this is referring to MPRT and not gray to gray. The gray to gray response time is 5 milliseconds, and we'll touch on that a little bit later when we get to gaming on it. Also adding to the experience is the slim bezel IPS panel that is in an anti-glare matte finish and really does display some great color for a monitor of this price. Jlink touts that this display covers 106% of the sRGB color gamut, has a 16.7 million color dispersion range with a 3000:1 contrast ratio, which again should equate to some very nice color accuracy with some great black levels to increase the immersion of your games. Despite having some very good tech specs, this monitor isn't perfect by any means. It does feature a slim bezel design, but there is still a bit of black between the edge of the actual pixels of the panel and the bezel, so it doesn't fully have a bezel-less design. All right guys, so here we go. We have the Jlink monitor set up on my secondary setup that I have in my house. And so let me just kind of run through just what it would kind of be like to use this thing just normally in a regular use case, I guess, situation. So as far as the stand and all that kind of stuff and all that, if you have a shaky desk, this thing is probably going to shake around quite a bit because the stand is not crazy stable. Like I said, guys, I think this thing is meant to just be VESA mounted. It does have the holes in the back for that, like I said, so that'll be fine. There's no cable management routing or anything like that like some monitors have, even budget ones that I've seen. So your cables are you have to either tie them off or do something with those, which, just a minor hindrance, but something that I figured I'd point out. And then as far as adjustment of the screen, it does not adjust up or down. So depending on how you sit, for me, this thing, I don't know if you guys can even see this, I gotta have my chair down pretty low to get this thing at eye level with my desk and kind of have my arms up a little bit. which is fine. I mean, some of you guys may not care about that, but just the way I normally like to sit, I sit a little higher, so this thing kind of would be down for me. So maybe keep that in mind. Maybe you'll want to mount it on a mounting arm, which is, you know, probably, like I said, meant to be done. And then as far as tilting, you can also tilt it up or down like this, depending on how you like to sit. And that's pretty much it. You can't even adjust it left or right, really. It kind of wiggles a little bit. And that's all that is just the screws in the back kind of wiggling a little bit. So it's really not meant to be adjusted like that. Like, I don't think they put very much thought into the stand or anything like that. They kind of just put something there so it would work if you need it. But what my recommendation would be, you guys, is to probably just take this thing and put it on some kind of VESA mount arm. And honestly, you'll be able to clean up your cables a little better and make this thing look a lot better in general. All right, now let's hop into the on-screen display of the monitor. The OSD can be accessed with a square nipple button on the back of the monitor and features some quick menus if you press it in a certain direction. Now, to access the full menu, you just press the button in the middle and the OSD will pop up. In this menu, you can change pretty much about everything you'd want, but this monitor actually surprised me with a few features that I thought were just gimmicks, but they ended up being pretty freaking cool. First, let's go ahead and talk about the FreeSync and G-Sync. So this does have FreeSync and G-Sync compatible. So it does not feature native G-Sync, but in my case, I had the system hooked up to an AMD GPU and FreeSync worked just as it should, so I would go ahead and guess that G-Sync should have no problem either. Second, this thing actually features ADR and DCR, which in gaming seems to look pretty dang good. This is one of those features that I definitely did not expect to see in this kind of monitor, but it's really nice to have. This monitor also has a bunch of preset color profiles, and as usual, you can always tweak your own if you'd like to as well. There's also an option to overdrive the monitor, which I'm not 100% sure what it's actually for. You can enable 165 Hz without using the overdrive option on, so I really couldn't figure out what it does. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. And finally, the game assist features. Now, these were 100% supposed to be just gimmicks as far as I was concerned, but they're actually pretty cool. You have the option of a game timer, which seems to be just a timer that they put in the top left corner of your screen to keep the time for you, and the times range from 15 minutes to 90 minutes. You also have a crosshair feature, and now I absolutely thought this would be like really stupid, but after enabling it and playing some CSGO for a bit, it actually seemed to work pretty well. The crosshairs were in the exact spot they should be and kept me locked on target when shooting. Now, will they make you better at the game? No, not at all, but still fun to have though. And lastly, they have an FPS counter overlay. This will just simply put an FPS counter up in the top right corner and will allow you to monitor, get it? Monitor your FPS while in game. Like I said, you really don't need any of these features, but they ended up being a lot cooler than I expected for a $120 monitor. Now, I spent some time gaming on this with a few different games, and I have to say, it was actually very good. Nothing about the monitor took away from my gaming experience, and the colors while in game seemed to be very, very nice, thanks to that IPS panel that it has. I didn't experience any unusual ghosting or input lag that I felt affected my gameplay, so I have to say, it's a very strong performer for the price. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the pricing of this monitor again, because it might make this monitor the best price performance panel of this type. On Amazon, at the time of filming this video, this monitor can be had all day for $159.99. And it also includes an additional $40 off coupon. That's right, you can now own a 24-inch IPS 1080p 165 Hz monitor for just 120 bucks. Oh man, this is a good time to start shopping for a budget monitor. So what do you guys all think? Is this the best price performance 1080p monitor that you can get? Let me know in the comments below, or let me know if you think you have a better monitor for the price. I'd love to see it. Also, if you're interested in picking this guy up for yourself, as always, I'll have a link for you in the description, so you can go ahead and go right to the Amazon page and pick one up for your gaming setup. But anyway, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. I hope you guys have an awesome day and an awesome time gaming, and I'll catch you in the next video.